and Parker Thune.
Here we are. Welcome in on a Tuesday edition. Hope everybody's doing well. As usual, we're brought to you by Lasher Home Comfort Systems for our first hour. 405-579-3113. That's 405-579-3113 for Lasher Home Comfort Systems. Parker Thune, I am sinking into a depression. I should not be depressed before they tee up the festivities at the Augusta National Golf Club for real on Thursday. But I believe the Sooner wide receivers room is cursed. There's something going on there. I don't know who has the voodoo dolls or what's happening, but this is crazy. Javanni Gibson injured, and now Isaiah Satania injured, as you reported on OU Insider. And Gibson's apparently is more significant than Satania's. I'm going to ask you a simple question. Just give me a yes or no. Will Javanni Gibson play against Michigan?
So that's week 2, correct? Or is that week 3?
That's week 2. Illinois State and then Michigan. Then you go to Temple and then you get Auburn.
My money's on no, Steely.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
Yeah. Look, Steely, I think it's high time we look into Emmett Jones' background. And I love Emmett Jones. He's been nothing but good for the institution since he arrived at Oklahoma in January of 2023. Obviously an excellent coach, excellent recruiter, excellent developer. But when he came to Oklahoma, where was he coming from?
The land of the Sand Aggies.
Did Emmett Jones make a deal with the devil while in Lubbock, Texas? One can only wonder.
There's a lot of evil in Lubbock, Texas, so maybe it came with him. I don't know. Maybe it attached itself like the odor in the rental car on Seinfeld. I don't know. But this is ridiculous. They're already beat up in the wide receiver room again. How beat up are they?
Well, Steely.
Don't you smile.
It's one of those. It's not a happy smile. It's like at this point you can only kind of laugh. And,
this is ridiculous smile. Yeah.
Yeah. At a certain point you have to laugh, otherwise you'll cry. When Brandon Drum and I were recording our latest episode of the OU Insider Under the Visor podcast this morning, we went down the list of every scholarship wide receiver at the University of Oklahoma at this particular time. There are 13 of them. 10 of those receivers, 10 of the 13, are either currently injured or have dealt with nagging injury at some point throughout spring ball.
So 5 months away from the Michigan game, which is a crucial game for Oklahoma, week 2 of the season in Norman. Big game for Michigan to try and get some momentum back as well with a young quarterback. More than likely, they'll see the 5-star freshman Bryce Underwood. And you're saying are you saying zero chance that Gibson would play? 5 or 10%?
Listen, Steely, I'm not saying 0%. But knowing what we know about what the recovery timetables have been in the recent past for student athletes at the University of Oklahoma of the football playing persuasion, especially wide receivers, can we really count on Javanni Gibson blowing the recovery timetable out of the water?
Yeah, he'll be back in 2029. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sitting here saying, we're talking about this. Surely Oklahoma can't have as bad of luck with wide receivers. And, they had obviously offensive linemen. They had a lot of injuries last year as well. The injuries weren't nearly as significant on defense. You had a couple. Kendall Dolby's was obviously huge in the Tennessee game. But, I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. I just don't get it. So even though I know you're not reporting what the exact nature of the injury is, it would tell you if it's that long, if it's anticipated to be that long, it's got to be a major ACL issue or a break. So that's not good.
And obviously it's not an ACL. If it's ACL, we'd be talking about him being done for the 2025 season,
right,
which he's not. But the prognosis that I was given in talking to sources last night is that it's unlikely right now, not impossible, but unlikely that he's going to be ready for the start of the season, which is just a devastating blow for Oklahoma at wide receiver, Steely, because this is the guy that had been the talk of camp, right? Javanni Gibson had not only been a pleasant surprise out of the transfer portal from Arkansas Pine Bluff, but he was putting his stamp on it, man. He was staking his claim to the wide receiver 1 title per anybody that you talk to. And I'm sure if you're an OU football fan who listens to us on a daily basis, you've heard us talk about Javanni Gibson. Maybe you've heard Teddy and Gabe talk about Javanni Gibson. Regardless of who you listen to or whose content you consume, you've heard all of the positive buzz about Javanni Gibson.
He looks like a Tears guy. As you said, he was making a statement, making a claim to be the number 1 go-to guy.
This was supposed to be the breakout star of 2025 at the wide receiver position for Oklahoma. And while the book isn't necessarily closed on that, the potential of not having him available for the start of the season, man, it's Groundhog Day again, right?
Crazy. Somebody said broken leg. Yeah, we just said break or ACL. It hasn't been officially reported as such, but that is the thoughts. Yes. So you would be so we could say for you that we could put you in the you would be surprised if he played against Michigan, but not saying that you don't think there's any chance.
I would be surprised if Javanni Gibson touches a football field for Oklahoma before the month of October. And even that may be optimistic. Again, just knowing what we know about what the recovery timetables have been for Oklahoma wide receivers in the recent past.
All right, that's it. I quit.
He turned off his microphone. He's leaving. We finally ran the old man off.
I'm just kidding.
Let the Vineyards know we succeeded.
What is this has got to be the worst luck ever for a position group at the University of Oklahoma. And Brent talked about, they looked at the way they were practicing, the way they were doing treatment, all of that stuff. He said that at the spring presser. So I guess somebody's got it out for Oklahoma. This is ridiculous. I'm just, I'm going to pop a beer right now is what I'm going to do. No, Red Bull. Sorry. So anyway, but Satania, the news is it's problematic for the spring, but not a problem for the fall.
Yeah, and look, problematic for the spring, that doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot with only 4 days left of spring football anyway. So, there are guys in that wide receiver room. Ivan Carrion has been banged up. Obviously, Satania, most recently, Keontae Lewis has been banged up. There are wide receivers in that room who have been banged up throughout the spring, but that aren't expected to see their rehab cut into fall camp and or the 2025 season. As of right now, Javanni Gibson is facing the lengthiest recovery timetable of any of them, and the only one that should dwell into August, September, October, potentially November.
By the way, Gibson, if I'm correct, the old man's memory again, I've got about a 70% correct rate these days, but he was the guy who caught the pass from Mateer into the backflip, right?
That is correct.
And I'm thinking, don't do that freaking backflip. Are you kidding me? Don't do it. And he walks away from that. And now here we go. And, it's just, we kept hearing, this guy, maybe it looks like we're hopeful, every week last year. Yeah, we're hopeful, a couple weeks or whatever. And it seemed like none of them ever came back.
Slim Brady asked, does Nagy let him walk or roll away, I guess? Yeah, no, I don't think they're telling Javanni Gibson, especially if he was out for the entire 2025 season, we're having a different conversation right now.
Yeah.
We're asking, does Javanni Gibson ever put on the Crimson and Cream uniform? But the expectation right now is that he's going to be available for at least the back half of the 2025 season. You're going to get him back at some point, and hopefully he's able to be the difference maker that he has been on the practice field this spring.
Spring portal, do they go looking again?
It is absolutely a necessity, a non-negotiable. There's no two ways about it. At this point, you have got to add at least one wide receiver via the transfer portal.
Take some of that money from basketball because they got a surplus.
Yeah, they got it. Where did that come from?
You get Nigel Pack and Tay Davis yesterday. It's quite a haul for Porter Moser. We'll talk more about that coming up here in a little bit. But we did have Dusty on, of course, here on the Ref on the Plank Show every Tuesday and Wednesday. And they asked Dusty about, another group of receivers, the tight ends, and they're still if John Locke is on there and he is you said he's the walk-on, right?
From Louisiana Tech, yes.
I always say from Lost University, John Locke. If you watch that show, you know what I'm talking about. But the 7 tight ends, and you don't know if any of these guys can play. So this was Dusty talking about Devon Mitchell's departure from OU and the Sooner tight end room.
I hate to see that. I know that there was expectation that he could really help. He was a highly recruited kid. I don't, for whatever reason, I don't know if he was ever able to fully pick up what was asked of him, and hopefully, he's able to do that somewhere else. But no, I wasn't. Based off some conversations earlier this spring, I wasn't overly surprised. You never know. I don't think anything should, surprise anyone too much when it comes to the transfer portal. But I don't think that. I think there's a little bit of a disconnect, and that they weren't able to get out of him maybe what they had expected. Maybe he wasn't getting what he expected. But no, it's unfortunate because I thought heading into the spring he would be somebody that could maybe make a big jump. I thought maybe because to me the tight end room is just an area that wasn't fully utilized, and I think that when you look around the sport of football, man, that's a position that can be an unbelievable advantage just from a matchup perspective and make you extremely difficult to defend. So, but no, I was not overly surprised. I think the real objective now is how do you get the most out of that room?
And that's the unfortunate aspect of the Devon Mitchell departure, Steely, is that it wasn't that surprising.
Yeah, which is crazy. Very, everybody had such high expectations. He looked like this guy might be the next Keith Jackson. He certainly looks the part. But Keith Jackson came in and worked his butt off, and combined with his incredible talent, became a force, for the Sooners right off the bat. So,
and for Devon Mitchell, look, all of this falls on his shoulders. Not Joe John Finley, not OU, not Brent Venables, not Jerry Schmidt. This program gave Devon Mitchell not 2 chances, not 3 chances, not 4 chances, 1,000 chances to just do the bare minimum in order to stay in the good graces of the coaching staff, better himself as a player, and give himself a chance to win the starting job in a tight end room that is begging somebody to emerge, Steely. That tight end room, that entire situation was set up so well for Devon Mitchell if he was going to seize the opportunity to grab the starting job and run with it in 2025, and he did not do that. And not only did he not do that, he actively deterred himself from factoring into the competition with the weight gain and the inability to consistently show up for meetings and workouts. Again, the bare minimum, right? The bare minimum. And I'll say this. I know there's been speculation that he was dismissed. I think it's been said somewhere, he brought a gun into the locker room. They kicked him off. No, it didn't happen. What happened was, you go back to what happened with Cavante Henry. Remember Cavante Henry in 2022, similar situation. He was in the doghouse. You told him you're going to do some extra workouts. You're going to serve a suspension. We're going to give you a chance to make this right. Cavante Henry said, screw it, I'm out. Devon Mitchell basically did the exact same thing. They were going to give him yet another chance to make it right, and instead he said, I'm leaving.
Disappointing for sure, no doubt. You don't want that guy in your locker room if you're giving him that many chances. And, I remember what he said in the offseason, and I got to look in the mirror. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. And you think maybe this kid is starting to get, what it's all about. But apparently it didn't take. Sounded good when he said it, but he didn't practice what he preached in the soundbite after the season. All right, let's take a break. And when we get back, we'll talk a little Sooner basketball, some big-time portal additions for Oklahoma. Portal Moser cleaning up so far. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about just one of the worst endings ever for Houston last night. So disappointing. By the way, hit us up on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. We are live on YouTube. Just search KREF Sports. You'll find us there. We're live every day from noon to 3. We're just getting warmed up, folks, here on a Tuesday. Keep it here on the Ref.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is the Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
This is Mark Van Hoos, owner of Van Hoos Fence. Van Hoos Fence has years of experience and proven superior performance, kind of like a certain head ball coach.
We know Van Hoos Fence offers the best value and service for your residential, commercial, or sports fencing needs. Whether it's a new install or repair work, let Mark and his team at Van Hoos Fence be your trusted resource.
Call us today at 405-735-1167.
Save yourself from Googling it up. Go to vhfence.com. They will work with you in a great way.
Considering refinancing your mortgage? Now might be the perfect time to start planning. With rates on the move, Stride Bank can help you determine if you may be able to lower your monthly payments, shorten your loan term, or tap into your home's equity. Stride's expert mortgage advisors will work with you to tailor a solution that fits your needs. With local roots and national reach, Stride Bank is your go-to partner for all your banking needs. Stride Bank, your trusted financial partner since 1913. Find out more at stridebank.com. Stride Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's time for your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather. Brought to you by Cavens Group. Do you have a water emergency? Give Cavens a call at 405-573-3048.
From the First Alert Weather Center, this is meteorologist Jonathan Condor with your KOCO5 News weather forecast. Even though a little chilly out the door, this afternoon is looking very nice. We'll see a high temperature today in the lower 70s with a sunny sky, but a south breeze at about 15 miles an hour with gusts just a little bit higher than that. Tonight, the winds stay up. We'll keep a clear sky with overnight low about 50 degrees. Then as we go into your Wednesday, winds shift to the north. That's a weak cold front, but highs will still make it to the mid to the upper 70s.
That was your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather, brought to you by Cavens. Did you have a water emergency that you fear might turn into mold? Give Cavens Group a call at 405-573-3048 or visit cavensgroup.com today.
Looking for a trusted, locally owned and operated roofing company in Oklahoma? Black Thunder Roofing is a top-rated Home Advisor Elite Service Award winner and recipients of multiple Angie Superior Service Awards. They can do it all. Black Thunder also does free inspections and estimates. Locally operated in Norman and Edmond, Black Thunder Roofing serves OKC's metro area south to Purcell, Noble, Blanchard, as well as Yukon, Mustang, Bethany, and Piedmont. Visit blackthunderroofing.com or call 405-473-8028 for your free estimate today.
This is Peggy Doviak, and I opened DM Wealth Management because of a horrible experience that my mother had with a stockbroker. I wanted to give people an alternative, a place they could go to understand their money, to know why investment decisions were made the way they were, and to create a financial plan that would help them meet their goals. Most of all, I wanted to help them plan their prosperity. Call me at 405-329-8884 or dmwealth.com.
Belmar Golf Club offers a whole new world of recreation and excitement. Our Junior Olympic-sized swimming pool offers a family-friendly atmosphere with poolside food and beverages perfect for all types of summer pool parties. In addition to the best golf course in Oklahoma, Belmar is also a great place to hold corporate and fundraising events, as well as magnificent and memorable wedding ceremonies. Call 405-364-0111 or stop by 1025 East Indian Hills Road and check out our first-class facilities and exceptional service.
Speaking of technology, did you know that RK Black is an authorized dealer for Kyocera copiers? And the Kyocera copiers aren't just copiers. They're smart devices that can scan, print, fax, and email your documents with ease and security. Even better, they're backed by RK Black's award-winning service team that is built on nearly 70 years of taking great care of our clients. Whether you need a desktop printer or a multifunction copier, RK Black has the right product for you. Let's get the conversation started. Give us a call at 943-9800 or visit us at rkblack.com.
Back to the bone! Back to the bone! Back! 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 Back to the bone! Yeah! Boomer freaking Sooner!
Uncle has always suggested going back to the bone. Maybe that's the answer.
They might have to, Steely. Again, 3 receivers out of the 13 scholarship wideouts that have not been affected by injury at some point this spring.
So frustrating. Do we know, did it happen outdoors or in the indoor facility? I assume it was outdoors.
That's a good question. I guess I don't know for sure.
We need to go
I
have
believe it was outdoors.
Both places fumigated and exercised. Is there a priest who can, they just need to get in the sprinkler system, put some holy water in the sprinkler system and just sprinkle it all down for like an hour, because this is getting absolutely ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. All right, headed to the text line here in a minute, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Nigel Pack, many of you remember him at K-State. He played 9 games last year at Miami, 6'0 guard, incredible range on the 3. A portal addition for the Sooners yesterday. This came after the news they got Tay Davis. How big is Tay Davis? Because he's
6'9".
I know. ESPN lists him at 6'9" on the Notre Dame roster, and a couple places like he's 6'6". I'm like, well, ESPN, Notre Dame said 6'9", and looks like a little bit of a taller version than Jalen Moore. So we'll see what else is ahead. Duke Miles, we learned yesterday, going to Virginia. So Miles to Virginia, Luke Northweather ending up at Mizzou, Jacob Cole to McNeese State. So there have been obviously some
Yaya Kita to the workforce.
Maybe.
Is that happening?
There's a question
Has that transaction been completed?
I haven't seen anything yet. Maybe he'll go to Sasquatch State. Where Kelvin mentioned Sasquatch State last night.
He'd be a nice sixth man there.
Hey, well, East Popcorn State against Sasquatch State. Didn't Bob use East Handkerchief State one time, I think, too?
I have no idea. Probably.
Or am I dreaming?
Sounds very Bob.
So, anyway, that's good. So, right now, and they're not done yet, they have, 4 spots left, I think it is? So, you envision, okay, guards. You got Pack and Forsyth. Sounds good, right? Jeff Nwankwo could play there and be a bigger guard. Because if you play Pack and Forsyth, and I love Dayton Forsyth, and Pack is a proven player, again, because of injuries, he only played 9 games for Miami. But you also are playing against bigger guards in the SEC.
No doubt.
That's a small backcourt. Talented backcourt? Yes. Really good shooting backcourt? Yes. And I think Forsyth, for his size, is pretty daggone tough.
He plays bigger than his listed size.
Yeah.
And you saw that throughout the season.
And I like the kid a lot. I think he's really good. So then you would have Tay Davis and Jadon Jones probably at the forward spots. Jadon Jones, again, injured, didn't get to see him this year. Supposedly a 3-and-D guy. You love that. A guy who plays both ends and can knock down outside shots. Mo McGee in the middle. And we'll see, what happens with Kai Rogers, the freshman, or Alec Blair. It would seem like Holst is, I don't know if you want to say a project.
Yeah.
But
he
might be.
The one thing that could really help elevate Oklahoma beyond what we know, and we know Tay Davis and Nigel Pack are going to be, at minimum, serviceable players for Oklahoma, potentially really good players in the SEC. But if Kai Rogers shows up and he proves that he is ready for the challenge that lies ahead of him, and he is able to carve out a role in the front court from the jump, that can really, really raise the bottom line for this team. I still feel like they need a true center from somewhere. I mean, it has to be the portal at this point, right? Because you have Kai Rogers, and he is a center, but he's going to be a true freshman. I don't know whether you want to be relying on him to provide key minutes. You hope he can, but you don't necessarily have that expectation. I think Oklahoma would be well-served to go and add a true center that can bang elbows with some of the elite bigs in the SEC. And then from there, I think you just need depth pieces in the backcourt because you do have a really solid foundation in the backcourt with Nigel Pack and Dayton Forsyth.
Yeah, like I said, you got a guy like Nwankwo that can play a swingman's role. Jadon Jones can play a swingman's role.
Don't forget about Cool Attack.
Cool Attack. Pretty cool name, though. All right, 405-651-3439. We're going to the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, and hit us up on YouTube as well. Just search KREF Sports. But first, we got to talk about that. Houston, At one point, it was a 14-point lead, right? And I think it was 12 at about the media timeout after 16 minutes in the second half.
I don't think it was ever 14 points. I think the largest it was 12.
And Houston, they were playing their game, man. They were playing their style. What was interesting, and I heard T-Row talking about this morning because he doesn't like Doug Sermons, and a lot of people don't, but 6 fouls called in the first half. Was it 24 whistles in the second half?
Yeah, it was a ref show down the stretch.
It was. And, look, Houston had their chances, those last possessions, man. Dribbling it off your knee. You've got to get a shot off there, Sharp, somehow, some way. The minute that happened, I thought, that's it. Ball game. And, there was a good close on the shot, but I still think, you don't have time in that moment. You don't have a lot of time, but you've got to get a shot up at the rim. And they couldn't get it done. Let's hear from Kelvin Sampson, as you would expect, pretty somber afterwards.
I told our guys after the game to be disappointed you lost, but do not be disappointed in your effort. Defending Florida is difficult. They got a really, really good team. Coach Golden runs great schemes over there, but, we guarded them. We held that team to 65 points. Thought if we held Duke to under 70, we'd have a good chance to win. And I felt like if we held Florida under 70, we'd have a good chance to win. Saturday, we found a way to win. Tonight, maybe not so much. We lost by 2 points. They made one more play than we did tonight.
Bottom line, yeah, that was heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking, particularly when you do not get a shot off. If he shoots one, he's a very good three-point shooter, a little bit streaky, but still, a really big threat to make that shot, and he's got good range. And if you get the shot up and it clings off the back of the iron, at least you get it up there. But to not give yourself a chance there, very disappointing. Florida cranked up the defense later in the game, but Houston had it going their way. Houston absolutely had it going their way, and they just couldn't close the deal. So, anyway. By the way, Kelvin did mention again Sasquatch State, which I did think was great with Tracy Wolfson. Here it is.
I told our guys after the game to be disappointed you lost.
The other one, yep. There you go.
Coach, you're getting it done defensively, scoreless from the three-point line, though. Is it something they're doing, or how do you have to adjust?
No, it's the same team. I mean, I don't think they made a three yet either. We haven't made a three. It's nerves. It's championship night. It's in the middle of the January against Sasquatch State. I mean, it's national championship. They're going to be nerves. Both teams will settle in.
Sasquatch State. What is the nickname? The Sasquatches, or is that too easy?
Big feet?
I
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe help us out on that. East Popcorn State would definitely be the Colonels, I believe.
Yes, they would.
Bob Stoops' old team. But we've got to set up that matchup. By the way, you know what they also should do? University of Oklahoma, if you are listening, you guys do a great job in the marketing, everything. I know you've got big plans for the Crimson Combine. Cancel the Combine now.
No Crimson Combine?
Just cancel it. There's going to be a broken ankle or something crazy. Until you can get holy water in the sprinkler system over there, just say no. That's my idea. I think there's a local priest that has a good supply of holy water that could come bless like a big tub of Ozarka water, and you could just put it in the sprinkler system, and maybe that would exorcise the demons that are out there on the practice field.
Any competitions on Saturday involving water balloons need to be filled with holy water only.
I think that's a good idea. We're on to something. OU Heck and the 918 say the Sasquatch State Yetis. So, there you go. All right, you want to hit the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. By the way, hey, Marcus, what's up? See you on YouTube. Sooner Mook, how you doing? Pepsi KJ, how are you doing? Thank you, guys. We're on the YouTube chat as well. Just search in YouTube for KREF Sports.
The Realist on the text line says, you need to ask Plank for one of his chickens to sacrifice to rid the Sooners of the injury curse.
I heard Plank say that he has sacrificed a couple chickens.
Do we have evidence of this?
I heard him say it on the radio the other day.
Do we believe him?
I do believe him. He's out there in, where is he? Washington.
And he has sacrificed these chickens specifically to rid Oklahoma of the injury curse?
He's in some satanic cult or something, but apparently they had a chicken issue and he had to take out the chicken. I don't know. Plank can maybe text us and let us know how many chickens has seen the axe.
Puerto Rican Sooner has the jokes. Campus Corner Hall of Famer Devon Mitchell. And this has been a very popular sentiment on the text line. The 580 listener, or this 580 listener, says there's a wide receiver in the portal OU should make a run at to replace Gibson. His name is Trajan Bridges.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Listen, Steely, I'll put this out there. There are things I would hate far more than that. I'm in favor of it.
Trajan Bridges went to play for the Mean Machine for 2 years, though.
He did. And look, the way that I look at it, first and foremost, Trajan Bridges had a highly productive season last year at Central Arkansas. 750 yards, 6 touchdown catches. And that wasn't quite the production that Javanni Gibson had at Arkansas Pine Bluff, but no slouches going for 750 yards and 6 touchdowns, even at the FCS level. And moreover, yes, is his past always going to follow him? Is there always going to be that asterisk? Sure. But he's kept it on the straight and narrow for 4 years, ever since his dismissal from the University of Oklahoma.
You're talking me into this.
Yeah, and as I understand, he wasn't the bad apple in the first place. He was caught up in the wrong crowd. He was not the one that did the pistol whipping in that whole incident. Allegedly. He allegedly was not the one who allegedly did the pistol whipping. So
my dad always told me you can't soar with the eagles if you're hanging with the turkeys. So that's what you're saying. What happened? He was a victim of the situation?
No, I would not call him a victim.
Okay.
I mean, he is still culpable.
All right.
In that scenario, but I think he is far less culpable than one of the other individuals involved specifically. And without going into great detail on it all, I think that was a valuable life lesson for Trajan Bridges, and if you look at the last 4 years of his life since that happened, he has not had any scrapes with the law since, at least not that we're aware of.
A redemption story is always a good story. So, okay, maybe. Jay Myrick says, so are we destined to become a wishbone team again? I'm all ready to go back to the bone. But who's your wishbone quarterback, Michael Hawkins or John Mateer?
If you're just going straight up bone, Michael Hawkins.
I mean, Mateer can run a little bit, though.
I guess what are you looking for out of the bone? Do you want a quarterback who can go downhill, or you want a quarterback who can break a couple tackles, go 75 yards to the house? Because if you want the former, and you're just willing to play the 3 yards in a cloud of dust game, John Mateer's probably your guy. If you want the latter, roll with Michael Hawkins.
Maybe it's a little bit like Steve Davis and Charles Thompson. I think that Charles Thompson would have been the fastest Sooner Wishbone quarterback. Steve Davis, though, was really, he won 2 national championships, and I still think the late, great Steve Davis is somewhat underrated. He may not have been Jack Mildren or Jamel Holloway, but he was obviously a great leader and a great player. Surrounded by a lot of great players, but I still think he's underrated. The Nuggets just fired Michael Malone. Interesting. All right, maybe that's man. We had that situation in Memphis recently too, right? And now Denver. So as we head down the stretch,
Puerto Rican Sooner with another text. Can we have competitions on Saturday to get a spot on the medical staff? Because I pretty much know nothing about anything medical, but I'm sure I can do a better job.
There we go. The medical staff's in trouble again. They're probably thinking, oh, my gosh, they're going to roast us again. Are you kidding me? I'd never heard so many people complaining about the medical staff as last year.
And I've been critical of the medical staff in the past. They don't have anything to do with Javanni Gibson's injury.
To me, I am not ruling out a curse at this point. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We will hit nothing but your texts and chats on YouTube. Sooner Mook says, not where you start, it's how you finish, which tells me he is in favor of Trajan Bridges coming back to OU. All right, stay with us. We're coming right back right here on the one and only Home of Sooner Fans.
The word is spreading, and the Ref Army is growing. Keep telling your friends and family that there's only one station for true Sooner fans, and that's the Ref Radio Sports Network, and worldwide on the KREF app.
Ever wonder why someone would wake up at the crack of dawn just for a chance at the unknown? Maybe a better question is, what are you waiting for? Pacifico is brewed for those who follow their own path. That's living life anchors up.
At Confidence Ford of Norman, we believe in living up to our name. Our commitment to confidence is in everything we do. Whether you're searching for the perfect vehicle from our extensive selection of new Ford models or pre-owned cars, our dedicated team will help you every step of the way. Because with us, you're family. We're conveniently located at 825 North Interstate Drive. Confidence Ford of Norman, a Cavender Auto family dealership where confidence is Cavender.
Hey, Sooner fans, we've got you covered. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
No, we don't get a break.
This is the home of Sooner fans.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
They say if you don't like the weather in Oklahoma, wait 5 minutes and check it again. Nope, not there yet. Ah, that's more like it. Being comfortable is important, and if it's -5 degrees or 100 degrees, Norman Air has you covered. Our impeccable quality and unbeatable service is what sets us apart from our competitors. It's just part of our mission to keep Oklahoma comfortable. Visit normanair.com for all your heating, air, plumbing, and electrical needs. Norman Air, service to the max.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Would you like to play a more active role in your health? At Hightower Clinical, we believe all Oklahomans should have access to new potential treatment options through clinical trial participation. Our team wants to support you with the best care possible through clinical trials. No health insurance is required. Compensation is available for eligible study participants, and study care is provided at no cost.
Having the chance to go through a trial and find out if something works for them and makes their life easier, I would recommend them do it.
To learn more, scan this QR code and visit our website.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hey drivers, it's Ryan Blaney, your 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion and driver of the number 12 Discount Tire Ford Mustang. Do you know one of the most important things that helps keep my car going on the track? Tire pressure. Keeping your tires properly inflated is crucial for safe stopping power and better gas mileage. Check your tire pressure at least once a month or stop by a local tire retailer for an air check.
A message from the U.S. Tire Manufacturers Association.
Now that open enrollment for healthcare coverage has ended, there's still several options to consider that just might benefit you. Need to purchase your own health insurance? Confused about Medicare? Considering offering benefits to your employees? Call the agents at Allison Insurance, featuring 70-plus years of combined insurance business experience. They're able to help clients avoid mistakes when purchasing individual or group health insurance. Call Allison Insurance at 800-580-5587 or 745-2968. They are the experts.
I like the guy from the 580. Steely has been critical of the medical staff. WTF? I have been. All I'm saying is there's something happening here. What it is, Buffalo Springfield, ain't exactly clear. But there is something happening here, and I did confirm with Plank during the commercial break that he did cut the head off a chicken once because he's out there in the rural areas. It's hard to say rural. Rural. He's out there in the rural areas now. Out there in Washington. So maybe that should be part of the Crimson Combine. You think it would probably frighten the children. Kids, look away. Chris Plank is here to sacrifice a live chicken. Then we'll have the 20-yard shuttle run or whatever, followed by autographs. But I don't think they would probably allow that at the Crimson Combine. But Plank said, yeah, had to do it once. So, man. The chicken was very unaware, though, apparently. Do you blindfold the chicken? Is there any way to blindfold the chicken? Probably not.
Sedate the chicken?
Sedate the chicken, yes. Well, that's what you would have to do, would be my guess.
That's what I'm going to name my band, Sedate the Chicken.
That would be like 90s alternative or something like that. All right, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line 405-651-580. You're right. You're correct. I think I called them a bunch of quacks last year. I didn't really mean it, but I think I used that term once.
Jay in Tulsa says, straight up bone sounds like the name of an attention-seeking clown podcast aggregator.
That's pretty good. I know it's a bit tawdry. You sir or tawdry? What's up with the attention-seeking clowns? Have we seen anything lately?
Well, listen, Steely, I have many of the attention-seeking clowns blocked and or muted.
Okay, and that's a good move.
It is. My life has known so much more peace since I just went ahead and blocked two of the preeminent attention-seeking clowns in the OU space.
Well, and here's the other thing that I don't get. Now, if you're independently wealthy and you work from home or whatever, okay, I can kind of see it. But how do people get to sit around and look at Twitter all day? Because clearly there are some people who can do that. Because the minute something comes out, how did you guys not know that? It came out 3 minutes ago. Because we have jobs and responsibilities and we don't get to sit on our ass and watch Twitter notifications come by all day long. You keep up with, there's actual other work to be done, or sit in a message board room all day. How can you do that? There's two plausible explanations. There are only two in my mind: total absolute loser or trust fund kid. Are there any others? If you can sit and watch your computer and tweet all day, there's this thing out there, it's called a job, that you have responsibilities and you get paid for it. And you actually, in many cases, you go to a place and do work there. Now, maybe you can sit in a cubicle and sit on the message boards or watch Twitter all day. Maybe, if you're in a job that requires very little of you. But if you can sit at home and be on your computer all day just looking at Twitter, you're not getting the most out of your potential in life, in my opinion. Because they always come to us, how could you not say that? It happened 2 minutes ago. Because I have other responsibilities. That's how. They were doing that with T-Row this morning. How could you not know and say this? T-Row's a big professional, so's TJ Perry. That's how. They can't sit around on their ass all day and look at tweets. End of rant. 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
By the way, I guess, why do NBA teams do this? I don't keep up with the NBA a whole heck of a lot, but I just the Nuggets are in 4th place in the West. They just fired their head coach and general manager.
Might be a locker room issue.
By the way, you know who their general manager is/was?
Their general, give me a hint.
Okay, I will give you a hint. You remember how, and I forget what OU player this was in the mid-'90s, but you did the radio bit where you named him a contestant for ugliest human being on earth or something like that?
It was somebody else who mentioned his name on the text line, but we should have never allowed that. Oleg Cassini, I don't know.
Yes, something like that. This individual was at one point, if memory serves me correctly, voted the ugliest player in the NBA.
This former, I should know the Nuggets GM. It looks like Blake Gamble may be writing down the answer or searching for the answer. No, he nods his head no, or he doesn't nod. He shakes his head no. But, yeah, we just had that situation in Memphis as well. So, by the way, it's going to be very interesting tonight. The Thunder and the Lakers are scheduled to play at 7 o'clock tonight. We know the Lakers just kicked Oklahoma City severely, leading by as many as 29 and beating the Thunder by 27, 126-99 Sunday. Lakers made 15 threes in the first half, 22 threes for the game. Shot 68% from three in the first half, and that includes a half-court heave at the buzzer. So it should have been a little over 70 and 55% for the game. So you're thinking immediately, man, this game coming up Tuesday could be very interesting. Well, here's the issue. Both teams have games tomorrow night. You know who the Lakers play tomorrow night? The Dallas Mavericks. You think Luka Doncic will have some interest in going back there to play against the Mavs?
He'll probably go for 70.
And that means, you know, if you've seen the Lakers injury report, all these guys are listed day to day, which is questionable. LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, Gabe Vincent, Bronny James. Rui Hachimura is definitely out with a knee issue, but all those other guys I mentioned are questionable. I don't know what the Thunder's going to do. Will they wait and see when the official, report comes out, when you have to make it more definitive later? We'll see. But my guess would be, and I'm wrong quite frequently, but that Luka probably would not play tonight and would rest up for the Mavericks. But the other part of that equation is the Lakers are only a game and a half away from playing in the play-in for the playoffs. So there's a dilemma. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tonight. My guess is, if you're the Lakers, you also sent a message to Oklahoma City. You kicked their butt the other night. It was very frustrating. If you sit most of your guys tonight, you also leave Oklahoma City with the thought, man, the last time out, we didn't have a lot of answers. Whether you believe Oklahoma City wasn't showing their defenses and some of their rotations or whatever, I don't know. It's going to be fascinating to see if it plays out tonight and who plays tonight. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
A listener in the 405 says, Trajan Bridges is destined to save us and break the curse.
Do you think that's going to be a serious guy that they look at?
My gut says no, but I'll put it this way. I know it's been a topic of conversation in that building. I know it's been discussed. I don't know whether they're actually going to move on it. But again, I would not hate to see it.
Well, so now you need a tight end. You need one wide receiver or two. If you get two, that means somebody's going to get a couple people are going to get processed.
Oh yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like you got to think about where these roster spots are going to come from. I would say the biggest need for Oklahoma right now is cornerback. They need a cornerback.
They need more depth there.
And though you feel like you need a receiver right now, and to be fair, I think you do, that's less of a need with the knowledge that everybody outside of Javanni Gibson should be healthy and ready to roll for fall camp. So you're going to have 12 healthy scholarship receivers, you would expect. And so that diminishes the necessity, the absolute necessity of a portal receiver. I guess diminishes the priority. The priority will be on finding a cornerback. Oklahoma absolutely has to have a cornerback.
There you go. Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get Brian in Bixby. He's got an answer to my question is how can people sit on their computer? Steely, most 40-hour work week office jobs actually only require about 10 hours of work. That could be it, Brian. You may be right. And look, I don't care if you're able to do that, more power to you, particularly if you have the trust fund. I wouldn't turn that down. But when they come after us occasionally, it doesn't happen a lot, but how can you not say this? This was 3 minutes ago. because we're trying to concentrate on doing a radio show. You can't be looking at your computer or your notifications every 2 seconds. And I've turned off a lot of my notifications because there are too many of them. Ding, 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 ding. And, it doesn't make the sound, but it's like, good Lord, people. All right, YouTube chat. Why is this almost exclusively a wide receivers issue, says Zofix.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
And, here's the thing. You would love to have a common denominator with all of these injuries because you would love to have something or someone to point the finger at. There just really isn't one. All of these injuries, with the variation in the nature of the injuries and the severity of the injuries, the only common denominator somehow is the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
So I genuinely do not know why it's just the receivers. Because they're not all getting injured in the same fashion. It's not as if there's some sort of death drill that Emmett Jones is running them through where they all break off a route and snap their ankles. They're getting hurt in a myriad of different ways. The injuries, as I mentioned, are of different severities every time, but somehow these wideouts keep dropping like flies.
No doubt. The whole thing's a mystery that's a riddle wrapped in an enigma, I think, as they said in JFK. 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Let's head back there.
Mark and Marlowe says, criminals always worked for Miami. Just saying, I would cross that bridge if needed.
Man, those Miami teams are pretty badass. They could back it up, too. That was Oklahoma's kryptonite back in the mid-'80s, the Miami Hurricanes. Even though Boz went out and had 75 tackles in the Orange Bowl that one day. And nearly took Melvin Bratton's head off. Did take his helmet off, but nearly decapitated a Miami player. The Boz did his part.
Oklahoma Johnny says, this wide receiver room needs to drink some Badger milk or something. Frail.
I've never seen anything like it. And we were just talking the other day about surely the situation, they're not going to be hit with the catastrophe. Did I say catastrophe? I sound like that Victoria on the White Lotus that they experienced a wide receiver last year. And, it's one really severe injury right now, but there are a lot of little other injuries that are still concerning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not going to have Javanni Gibson for the Michigan game, that's problematic because he's probably been your best wide receiver in the spring.
A listener in the 580 says, at this point, go get Trajan Bridges out of the portal. Bring him back. Let him hit a couple licks. As long as he goes for 1K and 10 tutties, IDGAF.
A lot of people saying that. By the way, before we get out of here, somber note, prayers to the family of Patrick Fletcher. You saw the news, I'm sure, that he passed away of a anaphylactic shock situation at a concert last night. Patrick Fletcher, a really big part of the Sooners' 2000 national championship team, played 28 games at Oklahoma, 4 touchdown passes, was a leader and a very vocal guy on that team that everybody liked in the locker room, played from 1998 to 2000. I can still hear him firing up the crowd at the pep rally after the Sooners came back when they beat Florida State in the Orange Bowl. Just everybody really liked Patrick Fletcher. And, man, kid had some heart, too. Son of former Sooner quarterback Ronnie Fletcher, too, who played for the Sooners, of course, in the 60s. I believe it was 62 and 63, I believe, for Ronnie Fletcher. So prayers to his family. Horrible, horrible, horrible deal. But prayers for the Fletcher family. All right, we've got to get out of here for hour number 1. Coming right back. Another award-winning hour to go. Coming up next.
Sound off any time of day on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Right here on the home of Sooner fans.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Summer fun starts now at Westwood. 2025 passes are on sale now. Ride the water slides, float the lazy river, make a splash off the diving boards, and enjoy swim lessons, activities, and special events all summer long. Get your season pass today for unlimited visits and exclusive discounts. But hurry, they're only available while supplies last. Don't miss out. Go to westwoodpool.com now and lock in your summer of fun.
The Ref is the home of Sooner fans and the home of Sooner Diamond Sports this spring. From Patty Squad in search of another natty.
Lifted deep to left field. No way! No way! Lose your mind, Sooner Nation!
And Skip Sooner's sight set on Omaha.
Throw to first and you can ring it up! 6-4-3!
The Ref has you covered.
Catch Sooner baseball this Tuesday against Dallas Baptist at 6 and Sooner softball against Oklahoma State this Wednesday at 6 on the Ref and the K-Ref app.
Vance Country Ford in Guthrie has been creating satisfied customers for over 40 years. How? The Vance family personally ensures that every customer receives personal, no-nonsense sales and service. And did you know? Ford F-Series trucks have been America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Right now, receive low APR financing and leasing for as little as $426 per month for a new Ford Maverick XLT all-drive Super Crew, and as little as $746 per month when you purchase a new Ford F-150 XLT four-wheel drive Super Crew. Plus, get a free lifetime powertrain guarantee, good for as long as you own your truck. So come to Guthrie at I-35 exit 153 or shop VanceAutoGroup.com. Remember, Vance Country Ford in Guthrie. See dealer for powertrain guarantee details. Lease for 10,500 miles or 48 months. Buy at 84 months at 5.9% APR. Additional cash due at signing with approved credit.
5 Iron Golf is now open in Yukon, Oklahoma. Escape the Oklahoma weather and play world-famous courses like Pebble Beach on state-of-the-art TrackMan simulators. Perfect your swing with expert coaching or just kick back with delicious food, craft cocktails, and a lively sports bar vibe. Planning a party, corporate outing, or fun night out? 5 Iron Golf has you covered. Visit 5 Iron Golf to book now and experience the future of indoor golf and entertainment in Yukon.
Whether you're celebrating a special occasion, desire a great postgame, or after-work dining experience, the Ranch Steakhouse is the winning choice. At Ranch Steakhouse, we're grilling up the best USDA prime steaks in Oklahoma. Juicy, flavorful, and cooked to perfection. Pair that with an unbeatable atmosphere, a killer drink selection, and a wine list of over 400 personally curated bottles. Whether you're toasting the game or winding down after a big day, Ranch Steakhouse is where champions eat.
It's that time of year to get to the ballpark, and that's something to smile about. Craig and Strait Orthodontics wants to help you and your family every step of the way to a beautiful smile. Craig and Strait has 3 conveniently located offices in Norman, Mustang, and South Oklahoma City. Check out their website at craigandstrait.com or give them a call to schedule your free consultation. You'll soon be on your way to a smile that you have always wanted. At Craig and Strait Orthodontics, we want to see you smile, Oklahoma.
So you want to create your future, discover a path worth traveling down, find a career to get excited about. For decades, Moore Norman Tech has been training talented, skilled individuals, empowering them to step into a career that fuels not only their life, but the Oklahoma workforce. These individuals are the heartbeat of this state's economy. Individuals just like you. Create your future today at Moore Norman Tech.
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
We're back for the award-winning second hour, probably not. Hightower Clinical, we want to thank you very much for sponsoring our second hour, bringing clinical trial opportunities to the state of Oklahoma with no cost or insurance needed to take part. Your meds are provided for free. Patients also compensated for their time. Sounds like a heck of a deal. Located conveniently in various metro area locations, coming soon to other parts of the state. HightowerClinical.com. For more information, you can call or text them at this number, 405-831-5905. Also, a thank you to our friends at Riverwind Casino. Get out and play with your wild card today. Get some extra entries for the big Friday night drawings and the 80K spring spins and wins. Promotional drawing happening on Friday nights. Nearly, again, 3,000 electronic games on a world-class gaming floor. They have all your favorite table games as well. 2 table game pits, 2 high-stakes areas, anything you're looking for. They've got a smoke-free gaming area, the Oasis gaming area now as well. We got some news also yesterday that we have new shows coming to the Showplace Theater in July and August. Sawyer Brown Band, July 11th. The Sawyer Brown Band, July 11th. In August, Tracy Lawrence on August 1st. Sammy Kershaw on August 15th. So 3 new shows that were announced just the other day. Tickets will go on sale this Friday. Get online early at riverwind.com, or if you're out at the casino, stop by the box office right outside the Showplace Theater Friday morning. I would say around 9 a.m. And again, get your tickets for these 3 new shows. Sawyer Brown Band, July 11th. And in August, Tracy Lawrence, August 1st. Sammy Kershaw, August 15th. Next show up is America, Saturday, April 26th. And then you have Boys to Men, Monday, April 28th. In May, Patti LaBelle, the Randy Rogers Band, and Scotty McCreery. Also a couple shows in June, 2 great comedy shows. Jay Leno with Arsenio Hall. And Nick Swardson with a comedy show as well in June. So go get those tickets if you haven't already. And don't forget that Beats and Bites tickets are underway. Josh Turner and Edwin McCain, the first show out in June. In July, Rick Springfield with a fireworks show to follow. July 19th. In August, on August 9th, what a pairing. Kansas and Starship. I love that show. And in September, Gary Allen with Drive. All your favorite local food trucks out there, retail vendors, kid-friendly environment. It's a great, great time outdoors. Beats and Bites back for 2025. It's 9th year. Tickets are on sale for the individual shows, and they're only $10 a piece, or you can buy a Beats and Bites season pass. Just get online at riverwind.com. With a season pass, you get some cool Riverwind swag as well. Parker, because everybody's so sad about the wide receiver news, and we'll tell you about that just in case you haven't heard yet. We'll tell you 405 here in a second. We need a laugh. That's what we need. So can you pull up Nolan Richardson on Larry Joe Bird? It's better to laugh than cry. I was thinking about this the other day. Nolan Richardson, coach at the University of Tulsa, won the NIT with Paul Pressey and that team. Herb Jones, I think, was on that team. Phil Spradlin. But went on to win a natty at Arkansas. And for his Hall of Fame speech, he talked about a time when he first discovered Larry Bird, who he was, and he discovered Larry Bird by being out on the road and listening to the radio. Here's what Nolan Richardson had to say.
I'm listening to a game. It's New Mexico State playing Indiana State. I'm listening to the radio, and I have no clue of the players on either team. All of a sudden, this name keeps coming, Bird. He goes to the right, Bird. He makes the strike, Bird. I said, God damn, who is Bird? Bird. You know, here's Bird, and Bird this, and Bird. Oh, did you see the pass that Bird made? When the time I got to the end, I said, damn, that brother can play. Got the newspaper the next morning and saw Larry's picture. I said, damn.
So good. That was a hot damn, by the way. 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. All right, the 405 wants to know, fill us in, Parker Thune. You had this on OU Insider. Not good news for Javanni Gibson, who arguably has been their best receiver in the spring. And not good news, but not as severe news for Isaiah Satania.
Yes, that's correct. Javanni Gibson going to miss a matter of months with a lower leg injury suffered in practice yesterday. Isaiah Satania tweaked a hamstring, as I understand. He's going to be fine. Nothing severe there. Same thing with Keontez Lewis, who tweaked a groin, I guess. But obviously the preeminent concern right now is the status of Javanni Gibson, because he's been the talk of camp for Oklahoma, has really been, by all accounts, an emerging sensation since getting to town from Arkansas Pine Bluff via the transfer portal in January. But again, his status for the beginning of the 2025 season very much in question after what happened yesterday.
Not good. Not sure what's happening. I have said that we need to get some holy water and put it in the sprinkler system on the practice field and just douse it for like an hour because there's no explanation for this. Some people are saying, is there a field issue? Our man Les in Kansas, maybe the cuts they make on routes. It could be a cleat issue, according to Zofix. A common denominator could stem clear back to Jason Fairs being let go. That's why Owen Field looked terrible all year, and maybe why the wide receivers can't stay healthy. Playing surface isn't up to the standard.
Yeah, okay.
It looked really bad for one game, right?
I have heard some very valid, real concerns about the condition of the practice field. I mean, that's one thing. Obviously, we had the whole medical staff conversation that percolated for months, and there's truth to that as a compounding factor with some of these injuries to the wide receiver room. But Javanni Gibson's injury just came on a freak accident. An unavoidable football play gone awry. Did not have to do with the practice field, did not have to do with the medical staff, did not have anything to do with anything other than Javanni Gibson just being in the wrong place at the wrong time and getting rolled up on.
Somebody rolled up on him? Like not in the wide receiver group?
That is correct.
Name names.
I'm not naming names.
Name freaking names. Are they of
Steely.
significance? I'm going to jot this down. They need to be running belly flops or running stairs for eternity.
A 918 listener suggests it's the curse of Cale Gundy.
I don't know. Some dude from Kennesaw State probably ran into him, banged him up. Not cool. Joe John.
Chris from Knoxville says, does anyone know how many chicken sacrifices it takes to reverse a curse? Asking for a friend.
Who was the guy in Major League? Who was the player's name in Major League? The guy who was trying to break the curse, not the purse.
I don't know.
Blake is writing it down as we speak. He's got incredible knowledge of Major League, the movie.
Hopefully you don't have to sacrifice one chicken for any injured wide receiver, because at that point you're taking out a whole coop.
If it's a starter, probably 2 or 3 chickens. If it's a backup, maybe a single chicken will do. Who knows?
Oh, so we're talking multiple chickens per player.
Pedro Serrano, that's right. That was the guy from Major League. That's right. My bet is on Boganowski. Don't blame it on Boganowski. Boganowski's a very important piece. If Boganowski was involved, he gets a pass because he's going to be a player. He's already a pretty good player.
They're not, trust me, they're not letting Boganowski hit the way he wants to hit this spring. I have been told by multiple credible folks that if Boganowski was hitting the way he wanted to hit this spring, he would have decapitated a couple people by now.
That dude is a modern-day Jack Tatum, Donnie Shell kind of guy from old school NFL. So, anyway. Yeah, he will light you up, man. No doubt about it. All right, what else do we have?
Greg
Pedro, thank you guys for Pedro Serrano, by the way.
Greg Muskogee says, okay, Saturday, everybody show up with a chicken. Let's do sacrifices. I got a big smoker. I'll pull right up in the middle of it. We'll toss the birds on the pit and be done with this.
Yeah, what are other, maybe we need to Google up other ways to prevent a curse or end a curse. Because the chickens, you know, they're running scared right now with all this chicken talk. I can tell you that.
An 918 listener says, it's because Fred Couples is a hoe.
Poor Fred Couples. He keeps getting abused on the text line, and his Houston Cougars were that close to a natty last night. We are watching live coverage from the Augusta National Golf Club.
Isn't this the last Masters for old Bernhard Langer?
It is. He got very emotional talking about it yesterday. Langer, who might be a cyborg, but he started to break up at the first of his press conference.
Man.
So, currently watching Rory on the putting green, by the way. No, he's on the 14th hole. Sorry.
one of the things you could count on when I was growing up watching the Masters is you could count on Bernard Langer to be somewhere in like that second group at like a solid 3 or 4 under on Sunday.
He won 2 green jackets, right?
Yeah, it was before my time.
But
yes.
You're right. Even later, as a defending champion, he was always kind of, and Freddie had that going for a number of years too, just because they have great course knowledge and they're obviously good players. And well, Langer stayed in great shape for a long time. But yeah, this will be his last competitive Masters.
A 405 listener says, Boganowski had Bauer Sharp lined up for a kill shot last year at the spring game. Should have just finished the job.
Oh, jeez. I am telling you, next year when the Mackey Award finalists are announced, Bauer freaking Sharp is going to be one of them. You know it.
Oh, I genuinely don't doubt it.
From LSU, Bauer Sharp.
A 405 listener says, wonder if Troy Everett slid for Gibson like Bates did in the spring game last year at LMAO. Yeah, that's right. Boganowski rung Sharp's bell, and then Josh Bates was all up in his face. You remember that?
That's right. That's right, man. I don't know how many guys are out there now. Football, again, it's a hitting sport. It's not a contact sport. Bear Bryant said that. But how many guys are out there in football right now that just really love to light somebody up? I mean, they're still out there, there's no doubt, but I think there are guys like Boganowski who dream of that.
Well, the thing about Boganowski is he's kind of a reverse-engineered safety. Brandon Hall watched Boganowski playing linebacker up at Junction City High School in Kansas and said, yep, he's going to be a crucial piece, crucial contributor in our defense at safety rather than at linebacker. Oftentimes, you will see high school safeties slide down to linebacker. Very rarely will you see the opposite, where it's a high school linebacker moving up to safety.
Yeah.
Because these days, Steely, look, what age do we live in? We live in the age of social media. It feels like all these defensive backs in general, the overwhelming majority of them, they want to be ball hawking. They want to be making interceptions. They want to be running back pick sixes. Boganowski wants to hit. Boganowski wants to take somebody's head clean off. And that very mentality at the safety position, I think, is so unique in this landscape.
Well, and I was talking about Jack Tatum from the Raiders. He and George Atkinson were the badass safety duo. And then you had a guy like Donnie Shell in Pittsburgh and, Andre Waters with the Eagles. But now, it wasn't intentional, but Jack Tatum paralyzed Darryl Stingley in an exhibition game. And you look at some of those old school hits, it was helmet to helmet, and they were trying to hit you helmet to helmet. You came over the middle in the old school National Football League, you were in danger of being decapitated. They were going to light you up. And, we've had clearly people with CTE we know that played back in that day. And so it is smart what they're doing with helmet technology and targeting and stuff like that. Because some of those hits you look at, you're like, and hits that would be like on a quarterback who just released the football and would get like a forearm shiver, from Hacksaw Reynolds or somebody.
Shoot, who was it? Do you remember who ended Wayne Krebet's career? He was like one of the most productive slot wideouts, like over-the-middle third down guys of the late 90s, early 2000s. And if I recall correctly, his career ended because he suffered a severe concussion.
Do you remember who it was?
On a hit like that. I don't remember who it was.
Somebody can probably find it on YouTube and let us know. But, yeah, it's crazy. You look back at some of the old NFL film stuff, and it's like, I can't believe they got, they would literally, a quarterback would let go of the football, and somebody, Deacon Jones or somebody, would pick him up and, like, body slam them after the play and might get a flag half the time. Crazy. Sacrifice mule shoe. That might be a little extreme. Is USC really tearing it up like people say they are?
In recruiting?
Yep.
Yes, Steely. But they were doing the exact same thing at this time last year, and their entire class fell apart, which it will do again. Make no mistake.
I hope so. We cannot see that man succeed.
Have you looked at his roster for this upcoming season?
It's not as good, right? But they are You're right. They always get this unbelievable start. It's like they run the race, and they've got a nice lead, but on the bell lap, they get passed up by a lot of other schools. So, yeah, I can't. That would be the final straw. I could not handle that. Could not handle it. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, 405-651-3439. Got a ton of texts rolling in. We'll get to those and some more. Steve Atwater, Drew England, good call. He would light you up. University of Arkansas, Denver Broncos, Steve Atwater. He enjoyed a good hit, no doubt. Let's take a break, come back. We've got a lot more brilliant radio on the way next.
The grumpy old man and the young whippersnapper. Tune in to the biggest generational gap in sports radio with the Steelman and Thune at noon. Every weekday from noon till 2 on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Your back-to-back national champion Oklahoma softball team is coming to OKC. The Sooners host Game 1 of their series against the Mississippi State Bulldogs at Devon Park in OKC on Friday, April 18th. Come see the best college softball in the best conference on the biggest stage in prime time. Tickets are available at Soonersports.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Devon Park on April 18th at 6:30 p.m.
Have you or someone you know suffered a loss to your home or business from the recent storms? Before you accept a settlement, call Brown O'Haver at 405-735-5510. Brown O'Haver is a local-based company helping Oklahomans with claims since 1988 with preparation and expert analysis detailing your loss and insurance settlement. As your trusted consultant, Brown O'Haver can give you peace of mind and make sure you're getting what's yours. Call Brown O'Haver today, 405-735-5510, and make sure they're working for you.
Exciting news for car buyers in Norman and surrounding areas. Sooner Kia of Norman is under new management with new construction coming soon. At Sooner Kia, they believe that every customer deserves excellent service and expert knowledge about their incredible Kia models. Whether you're interested in the sleek K5, the versatile Sportage, or the eco-friendly EV9 or EV6, they've got you covered. Join the Sooner Kia family today and discover how they're making car buying in Norman and OKC easier and more enjoyable than ever. Visit SoonerKia.com, where great deals and exceptional service meet.
Hi, everybody. Toby Rowland here for one of my favorite places to golf, the Trails Golf Club in Norman. The Trails offers great golf activities for the entire family. Men's and Ladies Golf Association events, summer junior golf for the kids, plus club fittings throughout the year. The Trails also has great family social events, monthly special dinners, plus holiday brunches and catering. When you're looking for the perfect place to golf, check out the Trails Golf Club in Norman. Contact Zane Alexander today at 405-364-3790 or visit trailsgolf.com.
Life is full of big moments, and at OU Federal Credit Union, they are happy to help you make those moments happen. Thinking of buying a home? OUFCU offers mortgage loans with competitive rates and flexible terms. If you already own a home, their home equity loans can help you make those much-needed renovations or pay off high-interest debt. But it's not about the loans, it's about the people. Ready to make the next step toward your dreams? Visit OU Federal Credit Union today. Your home sweet loan is just around the corner. Member savings insured up to $250,000 by NCUA.
Hey, all you electricians out there. Are you unhappy with your job? Ever feel like some employers see you as just a name on a time card instead of a human being? Well, at Wade Electric, they're a third-generation family-owned company serving the Norman and Oklahoma City area for over 50 years. They value their employees and want to help them succeed and enjoy their career in the electrical field. If you are unsatisfied with your current situation and are ready to make a change, call Wade Electric at 405-329-1940 to hear about their benefits and learn how to join the team.
Is full of anchors, meant to keep you in place. But the good news is that it's also full of things that remind you not to let them. So every time you raise a Pacifico, let it be a reminder to live life anchors up.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you. Donate at v.org, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
We are back, everybody. Great to have you with us here on a Tuesday. Thanks for being with us on YouTube. Robbie Martin says Sean Taylor. There's another good call. Yeah, we'll tell you about the Javanni Gibson situation and Isaiah Satania here in just a second again. I'm looking at, somebody just tweeted out a picture of the menu at Augusta outside of the little concession areas. They have all the prices posted. And what's amazing at Augusta, when there is a line that looks like it's a line for Disneyland, you'll be through that line in about 2 minutes. I've always said if Augusta ran the government, there'd be no debts. It'd be the most efficient government of all time. What do you think the price is for a good, solid egg salad sandwich at Augusta?
I'm going to say $2?
$1.50.
Okay.
How about that? Like a barbecue sandwich, the most expensive one they have is $3.
Wow.
Soft drinks, bottle of water, $1.50. Soft
okay,
drinks
good.
are $2.
That right there is so critically important because there's nothing I hate more. There is nothing stupider than going to a sporting event and having to pay $5 or $6 for a bottle of water.
Well, the greedy bastards get you at every turn. But so the most expensive items on the menu, beverages, domestic beer, $5, import beer, $5. But you get a Master's Cup, that's a heck of a deal. I mean, I think I have about 100 of them. Some of them need to be washed. They're still in like a bag. But that's really still pretty spectacular for a 16-ounce beer, $5. When you're going to need owner financing on some of those beers you get, at other arenas. Because Augusta does things right. I mean, some of these beer prices you've seen, like 24-ounce Budweiser, $22.99. I mean, that's just criminal. Totally criminal. One day there's going to be a fan revolt, and that would be the end of sports. That's the same price you pay at a dive bar. Yeah, that's probably accurate. And these are, I think they have, I think it's Stella that is their, Stella's domestic, isn't it? Or is it an import? No, it's Miller Lights that is their domestic, and Stella has been. And then you can get a Blue Moon with an orange slice, too. That's $5. That's a heck of a deal. That's why Augusta, ladies and gentlemen, is heaven on earth. All right, Tim from Nebraska checking in, and some of you guys know the information by now, but Tim wants to know about the situation with the wide receivers, Parker Thune. You had it on OU Insider last night, early this morning.
Yes, folks, and this is why you subscribe to OU Insider. We're on the radio for 2 hours a day, but you want to stay covered 24/7. Stay in the know 24/7 on everything that's happening in the world of OU athletics. OUinsider.com is the place to be. Try us out. Just a few bucks will get you a month's worth of subscription if you like it, and I think you will. You're welcome to stick around on an annual subscription. I feel very comfortable and confident in saying that we outpace the competition by a wide margin, and I think our work will reflect that. So if you're not already a member over there, would highly encourage you to tap in at OUinsider.com. But yeah, Javanni Gibson is going to be out for a while with a lower leg injury suffered on the practice field.
I ask you the main question for me that I think a lot of people want to know. And first thing I asked Parker, will he play against Michigan? And you said?
I'm leaning no. I mean, anytime you're talking about a rehab that is going to last several months, there's a lot of room for variance there. But where I stand on it is when you look at what the recovery timetable has been for OU athletes and specifically OU receivers in the recent past, do you really trust that we're going to get the good end of the bargain when it comes to Javanni Gibson's recovery? We really trust that he's just going to blow the timetable out of the water and be ready ahead of what the expectations are? I think you almost have to assume it's going to take longer than the expectation.
Yeah.
At this point in time, which doesn't put him back on the field until
last year,
midseason.
right? We kept thinking, we kept hearing, he's working his way back, man. We're hopeful. And then they're standing on the sideline, it seemed like every weekend, right? So you just are wondering, is there a curse? And as we've said, I've thrown a brilliant idea out there. There is a local priest who would like to do the honors. If you can, we'll get some Ozarka water, 50 bottles of it, the really big ones. We'll have you bless the water, turn it into holy water. We'll put it in the OU sprinkler system on the practice field and just spray that sumbitch down for 2 hours. And hope that works, because this is getting ridiculous. Frisco Sooner wants to know, Parker, is surgery involved with this injury?
Yes, it is.
Just unreal. Really is unreal. Okay, let's talk some good news. Yesterday, portal additions for Portal Moser, Nigel Pack, who most of you would remember at Kansas State. He was a big part of Jerome Tang's run when they were making a lot of noise. Where did they go to the Elite Eight, or did they get to the Elite Eight, didn't they, when he was there?
Loyola?
No, K-State.
You're talking about Nigel Pack.
Yeah.
Did they go to the Elite Eight? They may have.
I'm thinking they.
No, you're right. You're right, because they lost to Florida Atlantic. That's what it was. 2023.
FAU. No, Howard's Florida Atlantic. Certainly the first order of business is to build an obelisk over there some 500 feet above those mountains. And the obelisk will be the first founder of our country, George Washington. And I wonder if they ever built the obelisk. That was his introductory press conference.
Where?
Florida Atlantic.
There are mountains?
He said he was going to build it 100 or 500 feet above those mountains, an obelisk of George Washington.
There are mountains in Boca Raton, Florida?
I don't. That's what Howard said. He might have had a full quart of Jim Beam or something before he made that announcement. But I remember, I think we played that back about 50 times on the old morning show. Build an obelisk of George and he did say Washington. Okay, but Nigel Pack coming over. He was at Miami last year, only played 9 games. But again, he's still a three-point marksman. I think his career's right around 40%, and he's got range too. Mm-hmm. He can knock down some long-range threes.
And you got shooters, man. That I think is one thing that's going to be exciting about this team next year is you got to figure out the interior. I think you got to add a true center. You have to add, at the very least, another body down low. But you're going to have shooters in that backcourt. Between Nigel Pack and Dayton Forsythe, and obviously Jadon Jones, who, while healthy at Long Beach State, was one of the most prolific three-point shooters in the country. Those 3 guys are going to be able to get it done from long range.
And Jadon Jones, apparently an outstanding defender as well. So you're looking at a 3-and-D guy there, and that would be awesome. The only problem with Pack and Forsythe playing together is Forsythe is 6'2", Pack isn't even 6 feet. So you can get posted up, bullied a little bit by SEC guards, although I think Forsythe, for his height and stature, is a pretty tough kid as well as a highly skilled basketball player. But then they get Tay Davis from Notre Dame. Heck of it. It appears there's some more money coming into the OU basketball program. And the addition of Trae Young, I think, is pretty awesome for Oklahoma as assistant GM. Think about what Jenny did with Aaliyah Chavez, #1 recruit in the country. And so far, that's a couple good, solid home runs in the portal for Porter Moser.
Chris from Knoxville says, sports gods must have went, Oklahoma, you can have 2 good basketball transfers. However, football will be affected. Is Javanni Gibson collateral damage in the brokering of some cosmic deal?
I don't know. When I heard that this morning, I was like, what? I was up, but remember, I work 2 hours every day, according to the one dude. I was up about, I think, 5:15, so I was waiting around doing stuff until Toby and TJ came on, and I heard all this stuff. Javanni Gibson's going to be out for the year. What's this? I'm like, what? Surely that's not real. That can't be real. He may not be out for the year, but he's going to be out for a significant amount of time. Not a meniscus, Jimmy. That's the Russell Westbrook injury. It cost that bastard Patrick Beverley caused that and cost the Thunder an NBA championship.
OU Heck simply says, R.I.P. Javanni Gibson. He was too young.
Oh, man. We'll see. Maybe there'll be a miraculous return. Could be. You never know. You never know. 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. What else are you hearing out of spring practice besides, we don't want to talk about the wide receivers now, but defensively, offensive line, what's the buzz?
Defensively, Cortland Guillory and Malik Hawkins,
Okay.
a couple of true freshman defensive backs, have really stepped up and given Oklahoma some solid depth at that cornerback position. Not depth enough. They still need a transfer, but those guys are ahead of schedule. They are arriving ahead of schedule, and I think both of them will be willing, or not will. Obviously, they'll be willing, but I think they'll be able and ready to contribute for Oklahoma in 2025 as true freshmen if that is deemed necessary. On the offensive line, man, obviously Oklahoma hosted Jake Michaela, the Stanford transfer. I kind of left. I took my long weekend right in the middle of that. He was on campus Thursday and Friday, so they're looking to shore up additional depth there. Because
he's a guy that can play all three positions,
he
possibly.
can, left guard,
if
center,
pressed
right guard.
to, right?
Yes, he has started at all three positions in the past for Stanford. So, look, Derek Simmons has been a nice addition there for Oklahoma at offensive tackle. I would project him as your starting right tackle right now, but the Sooners are still in need of depth on the interior, and Michaela would certainly provide that.
EPL
is going to be good, man. He's going to be good, but again, especially given what you went through last year, I think the last thing you want to count on is a first-year starter being all that you hope and expect he's capable of being right away, because sometimes guys just aren't ready in year two. And I do think EPL would be ready if his number was called, but we saw what happened last year with Logan Howland, and Heath Ozida kind of had a little trial by fire there. And so if EPL is ready to rock and he's ready to step into a starting role, great. But if not, a guy like Michaela is nice to have around because you can fall back on him at any of those three interior positions and he's going to be able to hold his own. I also think if Oklahoma landed him, he'd battle Troy Everett pretty vehemently for that starting job at center.
EPL, short yardage, down at the goal line, EPL. The Sooner Fridge. All right, what do we have on the text line? Sooner Soldiers tried to check in a couple times, I believe.
He said, I hope this doesn't create a perception that if you are a wide receiver and come to OU, you will get injured.
Yeah, I mean, that's – I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say after last year. An entire position group, not completely wiped out, but wiped out of most of the significant playmakers on the squad. Never seen it before at OU.
You think there's a transfer wideout group chat where they talk about stuff like that? Well, looking at Oklahoma, but bit of a Nancy Kerrigan situation there.
Why? That was a brilliantly executed takedown of Nancy Kerrigan by the biggest buffoon team of all time, led by Sean Eckert, Jeff Gillooly, and Shane Smith. And if you Google Sean Eckert, it kind of looks like Mark Mangino's long-lost son.
Really?
Yes, back in the day at OU. Mark Mangino Jr. What we'll do is we'll get a baton, and when she's practicing, we'll just go whack her in the knee. What a bunch of Rhodes Scholars they were.
A 918 listener says, the medical staff is made up entirely of hoes.
The poor medical staff. They've got to be thinking, are you serious? So you said he got rolled up on. Now, when you get rolled up on, that can be in a scrimmage where it's offense versus defense.
Yes.
Usually it's not a situation where you're working out with your group, just going and somebody, is doing, I don't know, some other drill and stumbles and rolls upon you. So this was like in an offense versus defense deal? Or was it?
Yeah, they were going live.
Because if somebody clumsily stumbled into him, we need to know who that is. Like, hey, dumbass, watch what you, oh, my God, But this was in a legitimate situation where it could happen.
Blame it on Devon Mitchell since he's gone now?
Oh, man. Devon Mitchell stayed healthy before he left.
He did.
The tight ends haven't had you look back at Caden Helms, though, and
yeah, well, and Cade McIntyre's unavailable this spring. Man, if you didn't have a tight end problem already, you certainly do now with Devon Mitchell officially out the door, because I think that was the hope, right? The hope was that given how ballyhooed he was coming in, that he was going to be able to seize that starting job in year 2. Well, now that's completely off the table. And so whether it's Caden Helms or whether it's Carson Kent or Will Huggins or Jaron Canick, whoever it may be, somebody's got to step up and seize that starting job and prove that they're not just a body out there, but that they're a weapon.
Can Canick be the every down guy? I think he can be the third down guy, right? Can he be the every down guy? I still think he's a really good athlete. As you were telling me, John Locke is a walk-on, the kid from Louisiana Tech. But you have 7 bodies there, even with Mitchell gone at tight end. You're thinking, is there anybody who can play this position here? That's why people are mad at Joe John Finley. It may not be his fault but they're thinking, can they get anybody good and reliable, either high school or through the portal? I don't think Bauer Sharp was some, untalented, totally no talent reject. I think he got caught up in the tsunami of average offense and, was just one of the victims.
Somebody on the text line said, can't blame Mitchell for Gibson's injury. He probably missed practice that day.
That's probably right. All right, break time. We'll come back and some final notes for you. Got to get you ready for Locked In coming up at 2 o'clock. You guys are lined up on YouTube and on the chat. Aaron, I see you. I'm starting to develop hate and malice for the coaching staff. How do you let this happen? I don't know. But there's something weird happening, no doubt. All right, let's take a break, come back. One more segment next here on the home of Sooner fans.
Hey, Sooner fans, this is Jaron Canick, and you're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Make it rain this April at Riverwind Casino. With big wins and even bigger jackpots. Enjoy the sweet smell of money in the non-smoking oasis.
Get hyped on nearly 3,000 of your favorite electronic games.
Become a legend in the high-stakes lounge.
And get rewarded like the VIP you are when you use your wild card.
Hit nothing but net with the $80,000 Spring Spins and Wins giveaway.
So thunder up and win like a champion, only at Riverwind.
For the professional, it's not enough to just possess knowledge. That's why at GMC, we seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries, while pushing the limits. And we put this knowledge to the test in every GMC Sierra by engineering each one to outperform your expectations, so you know you're getting precision and durability when you need it most. And that's what makes the GMC Sierra the truck worth knowing. We are professional grade. See your Oklahoma GMC dealers.
What's up, Ref Army? It's Dusty Dvorak. Do you eat, sleep, and breathe football? KREF is the only place for the most comprehensive daily analysis of Sooner and college football. Catch me every Tuesday and Wednesday during the 10 a.m. hour of The Plank Show as I cut it up with Plank and Josh about everything in the world of Sooner and college football. That's every Tuesday and Wednesday on The Plank Show, and there's only one place to hear it. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Download the KREF app today to listen from anywhere.
OU softball, baseball, and gymnastics offer great opportunities for you to get out for some exciting action and support your Sooners. Going to an OU event or game? Balfour of Norman on Campus Corner invites you to stop by and get some new OU gear. Whether it's a softball jersey with your favorite player or just a new lucky shirt or hat to wear to the game, Balfour has everything you need to be in style and showing your colors. Cheer for the Sooners in the best and newest styles in Sooner sportswear. Locally owned for more than 45 years, Balfour continues to be Sooner fans' favorite OU store and has everything you need. Balfour has the latest styles and fashion trends for men, women, and children. You can find something for every Sooner fan. When it comes to hats, they have you covered with more than 100 styles to choose from. Even OU socks, so you're literally covered from head to toe. Graduation is right around the corner. They have OU diploma frames in stock. Or you can always get a gift card so they can choose the perfect gift for themselves. Come see us on the corner or shop online at crimsonproud.com, where you will find everything Sooner.
Are you, your family, or company looking for a locally owned and trusted management group? Carlsbad Management Group is an owner, developer, and manager of high-quality apartment communities in Oklahoma. They are a locally owned and operated management company for apartments and self-storage units. They are committed to providing exceptional apartment homes, customer service, and increasing the value of multi-family communities under our management. If you would like a free management quote today, call Carlsbad Management at 405-701-1411 and be part of the Carlsbad family.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, tomorrow I will be out at Caven's Group to see Gary and the crew out there. Cool crew out there, no doubt. And Friday, it'll be the one and only Parker Thune out at Riverwind Casino because I will be sitting at home watching the Masters. Yes, I'm that spoiled. So Riverwind, by the way, this Friday, tickets go on sale for some new shows they just announced at the Showplace Theater. July 11th, the Sawyer Brown Band. Then 2 shows in August, Tracy Lawrence, August 1st. Sammy Kershaw, August 15th. Next up at the Showplace Theater, America, Saturday, April 26th. And then Boys to Men, Monday, April 28th. In May, Patti LaBelle, the Randy Rogers Band, Scotty McCreery. In June, Jay Leno with Arsenio Hall. That's Friday, June 6th. And the very next night, the comedy of Nick Swardson. That will be Saturday, June 7th. Always great shows at the Showplace Theater. Really great venue, great acoustics. There's not a bad seat in the house. You can get a VIP area as well. You know, they're always doing something really cool at Riverwind Casino. And don't forget Beats and Bites, the outdoor food and music festival is getting ready to get started again in June, entering its 9th year with the great local food trucks everywhere, great music outdoors, retail vendors. It's really an awesome atmosphere. So we'll get started up in June, on June 14th, with Josh Turner and Edwin McCain. Then in July, the I Want My 80s tour with Rick Springfield and a fireworks show afterwards, Saturday, July 19th. August 9th on a Saturday, 2 great bands on the same night, Kansas and Starship. The show in August, August 9th. And in September, Gary Allen with Drive. All these are 6:30 starts for each individual Beats and Bites show, $10. They also have a Beats and Bites pass you can buy this year. Just get online at riverwind.com or go to the Showplace Theater. The box office right there outside the Showplace Theater. And with your season pass for Beats and Bites, which is really one of the best entertainment values every year in the metro area. It's really great. You're also going to get some cool Riverwind Beats and Bites swag as well. They're always doing things right, and good times, great rewards as always at Riverwind. All right, somebody asked me about Masters. Do I think Rory's going to win? Well, first, let's hear what Rory said at his press conference today about his state of mind getting ready for Thursday at Augusta National.
Yeah, feeling good. As you said, it's been a nice way to start the year with the 2 victories at Pebble Beach and Sawgrass. Had a decent showing last time out when I played at Houston a couple of weeks ago. Had a good weekend, and then yeah, I've had a couple of visits up here, and that's it's been I'm very glad to do that, especially with the weather yesterday. So yeah, it's been a really good sort of lead into it. Played quite a bit of golf and tried to stay as sharp as I could. So yeah, it's been a good week, and obviously looking forward to getting this thing going on Thursday.
Rory is number 2 among the betting favorites, and again, he's won twice this year, and he's won at Pebble and he won at Sawgrass. So those are 2 really good tournaments to win. He's got some momentum, but Scotty Scheffler is still your odds-on favorite. My pick, Colin Morikawa, I picked him last Saturday on the Gimme Zone with Brian and Josh Helmer. John Rahm would be 4th. Bryson was 5th on the list. Then Ludwig Oberg, Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, Joaquin Niemann, and Brooks Koepka, rounding out the top 10 favorites according to the odds makers. So, do I think Rory will win? I do not. I am hoping that Rory will win. I'm a Rory guy now that Tiger's not around. But, he's still got to exercise those demons of the 10th hole back in 2011, and he's been in contention. Plus, a lot of times he gets off to a really bad start, He's got to, he needs a good, solid opening round. I would go with Morikawa 1. I'm going to go Scheffler 2. Rahm 3rd. He's playing great golf. And then somebody asked for a dark horse, somebody outside the top 10, maybe Keegan Bradley, who's been playing pretty well. But I do not think he will win. I'd love to see it, though. Do you have a favorite golfer at all?
No, not really. I mean, it would probably be Scotty if he wasn't a Longhorn.
He's a nice guy for a Longhorn.
He's awesome. And he was actually one of the very, very first people I interviewed in the business.
Really?
Yeah, when I was an intern at the ABC affiliate up in Omaha. He was playing a Corn Ferry Tour event.
Oh, cool.
In Omaha. So, yeah, I got to talk to him a little bit on the practice range. Of course, at that point, I didn't realize I was talking to a future world number 1 and 2-time Masters champion.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, he's on my, I think to this day, he's still on my broadcast reel.
You know who played junior golf against Scheffler all the time was Sam Humphreys. And Scotty had this growth spurt because he was one of those small kids out there for a long time. And he was very talented, but he didn't grow up. Scheffler's like 6'3", maybe something like that would be my guess. But he had that growth spurt. And he's a heck of a player. It's still one of the weirdest things ever that he got arrested. Right? I mean, it's just the last guy you're thinking, Scotty Scheffler, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that Mother Teresa got arrested the other day. It's like that was the most bizarre thing ever. So Max McGreevy says, he's not in the field, though. Oh, that you played junior golf with? Yeah, Max is a great story. His dad, Brian, really good dude. So happy to see him out there. I think he lost his card and got it back again. So, man, if you can get to the PGA Tour, that's not easy to do. I mean, you're talking about the elite of the elite. Like, if you were a doctor, that would be like the top 0.5% of doctors in the country. Something like that. So, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. See, he's trying to bait me. Don't. Okay. I think he's trying to bait me.
He added an LOL at the end of the text.
I think he's trying to bait me.
He said, Masters Schmasters, this is the home of OU football.
He's trying to light the fuse on the old man. This time I'm not going for it. Not going for it. So, there you go. Yeah, that's kind of cool, though, Scotty Scheffler. Who is the biggest athlete or, well, I guess you could call him a celebrity, but who are your like top 3 athletes that you've ever interviewed, coaches or athletes?
Top 3 that I've ever interviewed. Wow. I mean, Scotty's definitely up there.
Yeah. Number 1 golfer in the world for a long time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who are the most prominent, the 2 most prominent OU athletes of the last 7-8 years?
Yeah.
You decide. They're probably on my list.
Baker Mayfield?
I think I ever interviewed Baker.
Just like in a press conference situation.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, you're still very young in your career.
Mm-hmm.
You're still a youngster. For me, I've been around forever, so how about Hank Aaron, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Nolan Ryan? Pretty good. Tom Landry, if I probably had to do the Rushmore. Kareem was awesome, by the way. I butted him up because I know he's got a reputation for not wanting to talk, but he lost his vinyl jazz collection in a fire. And I knew that his dad was a kind of a wannabe jazz. Well, he'd played with some jazz musicians in New York City because Kareem was from New York City, played at Power Memorial in high school. But so his dad hung out with a lot of the jazz greats, like Thelonious Monk, who's this incredible pianist from back in the day. So I got him a CD of Thelonious Monk because he had lost his record collection. He was very appreciative, and he opened up a lot. Yes, I buttered him up and got a really good interview because he could be his reputation was being pretty surly. Not a big fan of a lot of interviews. But, you know, this Einstein-level brain that I have right here thought of a good way to unlock the personality of Kareem.
And that's the mark of a true professional.
That,
right
in addition to kissing his ass with the CD, of course. But I felt bad for him. He lost his whole jazz collection. This was like a pride. And before Larry Joe Bird, Kareem was my favorite NBA guy. It really saddened me to see the fight between Kareem and Larry Bird out of the old Great Western Forum back in the day. Didn't know who to root for. And Bird became my favorite player because he looked so nerdy. I couldn't believe the first time you saw him, like I saw him on the cover of SI, like, Dad, there's no way that dude can play. Are you kidding me? And then I saw him play. It was kind of like the Nolan Richardson comment. That dude can play. He's awesome. So it always... I had a bunch of friends in high school who were Sixers fans, so it would be Bird against Dr. J, because really Philadelphia, before the Lakers, was Boston's rival, and they all loved Dr. J. And I loved to get under the skin rooting for Larry Bird. So, not that anybody cares. Einstein-level brain, you had, Steely. Brian, that's right. There's a little CTE going on up there. Every now and then I'll walk into a room. Now, what am I trying to do in here? Oh, yeah. You know. It's not fun. Parker Thune, what do you have coming up on Locked In?
Well, we're going to talk OU recruiting,
okay,
Steely, as we typically do.
Will they ever get another commitment in the 2025 class?
You mean 26?
26 class.
I'm hoping so.
They're still stuck at 4, right?
They are still stuck at 4. What's crazy, Steely, is that in the last 8 months, there have been 4 commitments, period. Any class to Oklahoma.
Really?
4. Michael Fasusi, Jet New, Will Conroy, Daniel Odom. That's it.
Wow. What are the early returns on Jet New?
He's been nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a freshman.
I don't need nice. I need an ass kicker at quarterback, man.
Yeah, well, the word on him has been he's competitive. He wants to be here. He wants to work. He's not the type that's going to walk away because he didn't get on the field year 1. He knows he's got to earn it. He knows he's got to improve, and he's committed to doing that. And I will say, like, early returns on Jet New from folks I've talked to in the program have been strong in the sense that he's not, like, blowing anybody away.
Yeah.
But he is ahead of where folks expected him to be.
That's good news.
Yeah.
And it would be great if he turns out to be really good because Jet New is a cool-sounding name, right? Yes, Sooner Soldier, that's how I was able to interview Kareem. He was in Enid with the Enid Storm. Yeah? Way back in the day. All right, got to get out of here. Want to thank Hightower Clinical and our friends at Riverwind. Parker will be out there this week. I'll be watching the action at Augusta coming up on Friday. And see you from Cavens tomorrow. Have a great rest